Our next cool kid this morning is a Provo High School student that taught himself how to sing opera.
That's Joseph Blomberg. He is here alongside Executive Director of the UVAA Summer Opera Festival, Isaac Hurtado. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
So Isaac, when did you start singing opera and you're self-taught?
Yeah, so I'm Joseph, that one's Isaac. But
I mean Joseph.
Yeah, no. I've been singing for pretty much since before I could talk even, but and I was always a loudmouth. I think my family has these funny stories of being wherever and I'm just on the swing set shouting my lungs out or singing, as I called it at the time. And eventually I got more into singing, and as I grew up I started singing more and more with technique and tone, and it just kind of naturally settled into where it was supposed to be. And I just have a big resonant voice, which is why I wound up in opera.
Isaac, I want you to really set the story up for us, though, because this is a really rare thing to come across and a really big deal. Somebody who just has a natural gift for opera in particular.
Yeah, because opera is not the most popular genre in our world, right? So when you're a kid and you grow up, you're going to gravitate towards other styles of singing. And if you don't hear it on the radio all the time, how do you develop that kind of a sound? And so that was what was so shocking. We held a competition for high school students all over Utah. This guy walks in and sings this massive, complicated Russian opera aria and blows us all away. And then we find out he's never had a voice lesson.
Isaac, does that just astound you? Because you also have been witness to a lot of talent, self-taught people, not just Joseph, but Savi's sister.
Yeah.
Also, just one of those talents that you have no idea. Does that surprise you?
It always does, because when a kid goes to high school, they're going to sing in choir, or they're going to do the musicals. But if they have a voice like this, or like Savi's sister Charlie, they don't really have anywhere to put that talent. So that's why we kind of came up with this competition and then the festival that's associated with it.
Let's talk about the festival, because you're right. It's this medium, it's this artistic expression that should be preserved, and we don't even have a lot of chances to go and see it locally.
Right. Yeah, so actually this is our 13th season. Every summer we put on 2 or 3 operas with an orchestra. We have multiple concerts, but people that are in college or after college audition for this, and they come into Utah and they get trained. And we have some famous opera singers that come in and train them. And this year we decided to include some high school, like exceptional high school kids, and streamline them into the program and give them those opportunities. So Joseph gets a full ride, tuition. He got $1,000, and then on July 7th, he's going to debut with a full orchestra at the UVU Concert Hall and get a chance to sing by himself there. So
Joseph, you won this competition.
Yeah.
Last year. Was this the first time you competed?
Yeah, this was my first time competing.
Wow.
You came from a musical family. Any opera singers there, or different genres of music?
Not really. So my dad is a music producer locally, but his is very much like the pop rock side of things, and so that's where all of my aunts and uncles have been very modern pop style singers. And we're honestly not sure where the classical side that I've been has come from, but it means that when it comes to more very chord progression, more classical styles, that you're not going to find these kinds of music in modern sound, because that's not what the modern sound is. When it comes to very dense and complicated progressions, then that's more where I start to really have fun. I think music is more fun the more complicated it gets.
Joseph gets technical, doesn't he? But was there a time where you just thought, it's just not hitting right, like nothing was the right fit? You knew you had a great voice, but didn't know much about opera, and then when you sang it, it just felt right?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I was a pretty loud singer, and so that was very frustrating. Like I would do choirs and stuff, and it is classical. It sounds, you'd think it would work, but I was always like, no, you have to tone it back. This resonance just cuts through the whole orchestra. I had a moment at around 6th grade, I did a choir, and I hated it, probably in part because I was like the only really developed male voice already, and so I was a bass already, and they were like, we don't know what to do with
my
you.
gosh.
And I think singing in a group, if you were pursuing musical
Yeah.
theater or choir, it's not meant for you. You're not going
No.
to blend in. You were born to stand out. Okay.
I think you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, he is so of course he has to sing opera, right?
And so then we get to we get to around 10th grade, and I was singing in choir, and we're going to state festival, and this is like one of our final rehearsals, and I'm singing it pretty much the same way as I've been singing it. I didn't think this was going to be an issue. We have this big crescendo moment, and the choir director says, "Joseph, I love your enthusiasm, but you're literally the only person I can hear right now."
we are going to
Loudest
hear it too
person,
in a
I
minute.
guess.
Yeah.
We cannot wait. All right, don't go anywhere. Joseph is going to sing for us and show off those skills in just a couple of minutes after a quick commercial break.